Coming to you live from the White Picket Studios in Houston, Texas. This is the Realty Ruckus. If you are in any way, shape, or form involved in the real estate industry, this is the show for you. And now, your host, Alan Hernandez.
Welcome to the Realty Ruckus, right out of the White Picket Realty Studios. I am your host, Alan Hernandez. Sitting next to me, Gibran Hernandez, our executive producer, and David Bonilla, also our executive producer. Thank you guys for joining us today, for being part of our show, for being part of our master plan to go out there and help everyone who's working on building their real estate business do just that, grow their real estate business.
For sure.
I can't wait to be able to share the show that we have for you guys today. And before I do that, I want to thank you all for all of the amazing support that you have provided, all of the viewers out there, all of the realtors, lenders, vendors, everyone out there who supports our cause and has literally done everything they can to get out to today's happy hour. We'll talk more about it throughout the show and let you guys know about it, but we are officially sold out.
Sold out, baby.
Segundo de Mayo is officially sold out. We hit 350 RSVPs earlier this day, and it's crazy because right as soon as I hit it, I had tons of people texting me and emailing me. He's like, "Oh man, I wanted to get my ticket. I forgot."
Hey man, we warned you guys. We warned you they were running out.
We warned you guys that they were going to run out, and we literally did.
It's like people become immune to that almost.
Yeah.
Because everyone says, only 3 tickets remaining, only 4 spots remaining, and people are hearing like, and
they're like, whatever.
There's plenty of seats left, and this time,
no, we really did run out of tickets, and actually, I'm a little bit worried because you know this place has a capacity.
Wait. Did you pull a United? Did you overbook?
I may have overbooked just a little bit.
Am I going to need to drag people out? You're like, I'm going to have to tell like Ryan DeGeneres and be like, sorry man, I know you're my boy, but we got to get out of here.
Sorry.
I'm going to have to drag you out.
Better.
And on the way out, let me slam your head into the bar.
Just for shits and giggles.
Don't look at us the wrong way. You'll get kicked out.
Anyways, before we start the show, I want to tell you guys about something really awesome that happened this weekend, and find a way to connect that to something that I think happens to every one of us every day. So, during the weekends, we find places to go where Vanessa and I can kind of veg out, hang out, and the kids can play, right?
Yeah.
So this weekend we went out to City Center, right there in the middle, right next to Ruggles Green.
Yeah,
and
where there's like a area to play.
Yeah, there's like a little green space there, and it's awesome because the kids can go there, they run around, they get tired, and then Vanessa and I can sit there and have a drink, have some food. It's just a really, really great place to be during the weekend.
That's awesome, man.
And this weekend they had live music, and I mean it was just a great environment. So we're sitting there. Check this out. We're sitting there, and we're at a table of 6. We just happened to get like the front row table. It was just a good spot to sit. Mm-hmm. We see this lady walking around holding like about a 1-year-old baby, and she looks like she's looking for a place to sit. So I was like, hey, we don't mind sharing this table with you guys, or with you. Take a seat. And she was like, oh, my husband's on his way too. Is that okay? I was like, totally, dude. Bring him over,
Totally, bro.
You should have been like, yeah, bro, you should bring him on over.
So no, I was like, hey, no, come on, sit down, and we get to talking. One thing leads to another. Come to find out, she is a principal or a vice principal for one of the local schools here nearby, and her husband is in mortgages and handles all of the mortgage business for one of the large oil companies here in town.
That's so cool.
I want to say it's like Exxon or something like that.
Cool.
And he's like, oh, by the way, I only work with like 1 or 2 realtors, so I may need someone to pass on some business to.
Yes.
And I was like, man, what are the chances that we would like just randomly ask someone to sit and that he and I can make a quick connection. And then as I was sitting there talking to them, I realized, we kind of went through the whole teacher thing too when we first got into this business. Because I don't know if you guys both know, well, obviously, BB, I don't know if you knew this, but Vanessa was a 2nd grade teacher. Vanessa, my wife. And she was teaching at Bruce Elementary for a couple years. And eventually we realized how underpaid teachers really are, because I remember she would come home and it was like 5 p.m. when she would come. She gets out at 3, but she gets home like at 5:30, right?
Like 5? No way.
Was it,
she had to be home around 6.
Maybe, yeah.
She was leaving her school at the same time I was leaving mine, and I wasn't leaving until 5 p.m.
Yeah. I mean, she would get home really late, but the point of the story is that not only did she get home late, but she would get home and start
do
grading
more work.
papers.
Yeah.
She'd be grading papers and doing, all this extra additional
Lesson
work.
planning.
Yeah. And then she'd leave super early to get there. And one day we finally sat down and we were like, hey, what are you actually making like on an hourly basis? And mind you, she was a little bit better paid than most teachers because she had the bilingual deal set up, right? And we realized she was working about 70 hours a week with and even with the pay that she was making, which was more than most teachers, she could have made just as much by working at McDonald's, essentially 70 hours a week. And that's
to get out of McDonald's.
That's when like the light bulb hit, and we sat there and kind of reminisced on how this all works, and how when you're out there and even though it's doing something that you love, like for example, she loved teaching. Yeah. There was a point where she hit that spot where she was like, you know what, I love doing this, but it's getting to the point where it's affecting my livelihood, the way that I live, and I'm not being properly compensated for it. And because of that, she ended up getting into real estate, and now helps us develop our investment opportunities. So it's been a crazy ride, and the whole thing has to do with me reminiscing about how Vanessa was a teacher and how we invited this principal to sit down with us, who led to potentially creating more business.
There you go, man.
And I just wanted to bring that up to you guys
Always
because
be connecting.
I feel like this happens to everyone out there. Don't be afraid to just let a stranger sit on your table and see what you can do to help them or how they can help you. You never know. Anyway, we have a great show planned out for you guys today. We're going to talk about the habits that rich people tend to have, specifically one that everyone should have. We're going to talk to you guys about that next. And then we're going to get into some other awesome topics that are going to help you build your real estate business. Stay tuned. You're on the Realty Ruckus.
Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service at an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching at Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you are interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepicketrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepicketrealty.com. Non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one.
What do you love about White Picket?
I love that we work together as a team.
I love being professional while having fun.
I love the innovative approach we take every day.
I love the support we get to grow our business.
We love White Picket.
And I love empowering the next generation of realtors to live life by their own design. If you're looking to grow, come grow with us. Email join@teamwpr.com. Again, that's join@teamwpr.com.
And we are back on Realty Ruckus. Remember that you can live tweet us at Realty Ruckus. You can also find us live on Facebook and YouTube, where you chat with us live during the show. We can answer your questions live on the air. Now, David, what's the weather look like for us this week?
Well, actually, it's going to be a pretty nice week this weekend. We are having weather in the high 80s and low in the 70s.
Sweet.
That's it.
That's like
nice
the best weather forecast we've ever gotten from this guy.
Oh, he was so calm. Oh yeah, it's just gonna be a little sunny.
It's gonna be awesome.
Little sunshine, a little rain. Maybe,
I'll tell you what. This last weekend we had the best weather. The best weather. I couldn't help it on Sunday.
It felt so good outside.
It was amazing. On Sunday we just went out to the park and just hung out. We flew the kites. It was it was awesome just to go out there and just hang out. Hey, but we want to talk about something that comes up for every listing strong agent out there. If you guys are out there dealing with listings or motivated sellers, or anytime you're sitting down with someone that wants to potentially sell their house and they come around to you and they say, I'd like to maybe go with a neighborhood
Are you skipping
expert.
a segment?
Did I skip a segment?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. we were
Rich
all
habits.
We were all so confused. Like, what
Is that why you keep looking at me
It's
weird?
okay. Yeah, you just keep going. It's all good.
We're gonna switch it around. So let's talk about neighborhood experts and why they are so incredibly overrated. And here's the deal. This one thing comes up just as much as like the Zestimate does. Like, right? We talk about the Zestimate all the time and how people are always like, hey, well, my Zestimate told me something else. This comes up just as much. Well, I'd like to go with my neighbor who lives in the neighborhood. And you're like, well,
they're a neighborhood expert.
Yeah, they're a neighborhood expert. They've been living here for 20 or 30 years. And you're like, all right, yeah. But do they know anything about marketing? And a lot of times, just because the neighborhood quote unquote expert is the neighborhood expert, right, doesn't actually mean they know how to market for a buyer or how to bring more attention to that listing.
And just to play devil's advocate for a second, the one value that I do know, and this is only from certain of those big agents that are neighborhood experts, is that they also represent a lot of buyers. Mm-hmm. So they represent buyers that are buying in that area. And a lot of the time, they have the home sold to one of their buyers before it even gets to the market. Mm-hmm. So it's not about the marketing that they're doing. It's about the pool of buyers that they already have. Now, that does not apply to every neighborhood expert. We're talking about far and few between the people that actually applies to.
And the article we're actually kind of gleaning some of this information off of Inman does make the statement that there are certain neighborhoods where an expert does make a difference. I'm sure we can think of a couple.
Well, I mean, like there's one in Piney Point that's a completely gated community, and if you're not on the list of agents that can drive in there, guess what? You can't even get in.
Yeah.
So you have to be the neighborhood expert there, and that's by force. That's not by anything else. But yes, that I do see that situation. But you're right. The vast majority of the time when someone says, I want a neighborhood expert, they're just going to the person who has a local office.
That's right.
And that means nothing.
Why do you guys think this, this exists in the psyche of clients out there that they need a local expert?
Well,
where does that come from?
I can tell you it comes from a time when there was no internet.
Yes.
It comes from a time when where being a local or not local, a neighborhood expert had a tremendous amount of value. And the value was in the buyers that they had, and it was in the fact that they only worked that specific neighborhood.
So we got to take everyone back, right? Because sometimes people got to understand what came before to really get where does that moniker come from.
Yeah.
Where did that moniker neighborhood expert come from? Well, back in the day, some of you younger listeners.
I feel like we're getting ready to do story time.
Yeah. Well, it really is, because you have to think of a time. So imagine yourself, real estate agent.
Back in my time.
You're driving around, you're getting ready to show houses. How do you even know which houses are available?
Yeah.
Well, you got to go to your fax machine, and you got to get the most recent fax.
I used to have a fax machine.
Of the local area houses that just got listed.
That's my old people impersonation.
I see that.
There's no pictures online of those houses. There's no way. The only way to know the house is to actually go there and see it in person.
Right.
Which means that if you have to look at every house that's listed, you're not going to drive Woodlands, Cypress, Sugarland, Clear Lake. You're going to stay within a 5-mile radius of everything that's close to you.
Well, I can tell you.
And be the neighborhood expert.
If I was a little older, and just like a little older, right? If I was a little older, there's a real good chance I would have been a neighborhood expert, because I don't like driving out to Timbuktu.
You're pretty close to would be considered a neighborhood expert for the shop.
You're the modern day neighborhood expert, my friend. I hate to break it to you.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
This is intervention time now. Me and David.
Wait a minute, we're supposed to be having a show, not an intervention.
Alan, we all love you very much.
We've written you this letter.
Alan, you are a neighborhood expert of Sharpstown.
Thanks a lot, guys. I feel much better.
But in Sharpstown, people do know you.
Yeah.
You are an expert in Sharpstown.
Sure. That's only because I live here and our office is here. But I mean, it doesn't make a difference whether I list a house here or in any other part of town, because the marketing is the same.
The listing product is the same.
And that's what I'm trying to get across. It's nowadays there's no such thing as a neighborhood expert that really gives that neighborhood expert an advantage unless it's someone very specific in a very specific neighborhood,
Yes.
right? And that neighborhood expert that used to not deal with the internet back in the days, who has created themselves as a neighborhood expert, has to be a super, super well-educated person that's kept up with the times.
Yes.
Right? Because if you're still like faxing things out, or if you're still sending emails to your potential buyers, you're stuck. You know, if you're not running social media campaigns and getting the new way of marketing out there, it's not really making you an expert.
Nope.
Anyway, we got to take a quick commercial break. You guys are on the Realty Ruckus. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service at an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching at Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you're interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepicketrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepicketrealty.com. Non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one.
What do you love about White Picket?
I love that we work together as a team.
I love being professional while having fun.
I love the innovative approach we take every day.
I love the support we get to grow our business.
We love White Picket.
And I love empowering the next generation of realtors to live life by their own design. If you're looking to grow, come grow with us. Email join@teamwpr.com. Again, that's join@teamwpr.com.
And we are back on Realty Ruckus. Remember that you can live tweet us at Realty Ruckus. You can also find us live on Facebook and YouTube, where you chat with us live during the show. We can answer your questions live on the air. Now, we were just having a conversation about local neighborhood experts and how that's just a made-up moniker now. It doesn't really exist anymore. It doesn't mean anything to be a neighborhood expert unless you're in very specified areas where we were saying like a gated community where you can't get in. Well, then, of course, you have to be a neighborhood expert there because you've got to get on the list. But in terms of all of that, we want to close out that conversation. I want to bring up something else. So I recently saw a documentary, and I know this has nothing to do with real estate, but I'm going to connect it to the wealth of most what?
Somebody help this guy out.
Real estate agents. I hung out with Mike Tyson this weekend, all right? Now, so and they try to do this study to find out what was the real difference between overweight people and people that are at a healthy, normal weight, right? And they did a study over 30 years where people kept track of all of their food. 100 different participants kept track of everything that they ate over a 30-year period. And
Please don't tell me it's sandwiches. Please.
No.
Don't
It
tell me
wasn't
it's
bread. It wasn't any of that. You know what was the one food that really made the difference? French fries. Overweight people eat about 3 times as many French fries as healthy people.
Damn it.
Everything else, and I love French fries. I'm like, that's why I was overweight. I mean, French fries are delicious. But it wasn't sugar, it wasn't any of that. It was French fries. French fries was the one food that was making a huge difference. And we want to talk about today the one habit that makes a huge difference between you being poor and we'll describe what we mean by poor in a second, and you being wealthy. But there's literally one habit that you can say, that one thing, if you can do that, you will begin to elevate yourself.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what?
I completely agree. And you know, I'm a firm believer that your income is directly related to your philosophy. But the question is, if you don't grow up with your parents having a phenomenal philosophy, and which most people don't, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't have the ability to somehow have the world teach that to you miraculously, then how do you actually change your philosophy? How do you actually learn about what is good philosophy and what kind of habits you should be having? Well, I think this is it. I think this is the answer to it.
Yeah, and so just so for everyone to understand, when we're saying wealthy, we're talking about an individual who makes $160,000 per year or more, all the way up to a net worth that means their net worth had a minimum of $3.2 million for this study. So they made $160,000 a year, had a net worth of $3.2 million. That's wealthy. That's wealthy. And then the poor was anyone who made less than $35,000 per year. Okay, so we're talking about, that's a lot of people, less than $35,000 per year.
I would say the majority of people.
And what they found, and this is where the numbers are really scary, the one difference between them that was very obvious was in terms of how much they read.
Yeah, the habit of reading.
The habit behind reading, right?
So like French fries, this is like reading.
Reading is the French fries to make your brain fat.
Yeah.
But make that fat in a good way, right?
Yeah.
Like
so
making
you want
brain
to read
really,
more, guys.
really packed.
Don't go on a reading diet. You want to read more.
Yeah. You want more of this in your life. And just to give you an example, 88% of wealthy, okay, 88%, that's a huge percentage of the wealthy read for at minimum 30 minutes a day or more.
Well, that's phenomenal.
Okay. Do you know what the percentage of the poor is that read 30 minutes or more per day? And this is going to be mind staggering, this number.
Yeah, let's see if any listeners.
So the wealthy is 88%?
The wealthy read on average, 88% of the wealthy on average read 30 minutes or more per day.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the question is what percentage of the poor read more than
30 minutes or more per day? What percentage of the poor are doing that?
All right. So do any of our viewers have any input on this? What is your guess?
Yeah, so for our listeners out there, I see Caesar watching, Tang, Rose, any of you guys out there watching right now.
Give us a number. What do you guys think?
And it's staggering. So really, I'm allowing you to exaggerate on this one because the difference is just, I couldn't believe it.
So Caesar says 1%.
Real close.
All right,
real
close.
Very close, Caesar.
Caesar's like that one guy, though, like at the...
he's a cynic.
You know, he's like that one guy who like actually comes in with like a real number, too. Like, you know, He's like the guy when you're on the Bob Barker show. What's the name of Price is Right?
The Price is Right.
Yeah, and like the one guy is like $100,000, and then the guy next to you is like $1.
That's Caesar.
Thanks a lot, Caesar.
Well, Caesar is actually pretty close to being correct. Only 2% of those considered poor, meaning they make $35,000 or less in annual income.
2%, guys. 2%. $49.99. That is correct, Caesar. Come on up here. You're going to win the sweepstakes. But guys, that is crazy.
Yeah.
2%.
2%.
If we're in a room of 100 poor people, only 2 of them
will read.
Are reading. If we're in a room with 100 rich people, 88 of them are reading 30 minutes a day. That is mind-boggling. And this next one is even going to blow your mind further because this is something I recently started doing. Yeah. So for the longest time, I love music. It's my passion. It's the thing that I love the most in the world. So I would always listen to music on the way to work, driving around. But I made a real commitment to try to get more books into my schedule. Mm-hmm. Now, I couldn't make more time to read, so I had to get rid of something and put books in that time. Mm-hmm. And something that you've always told me is, get your automobile MBA. Get your automobile MBA. And I finally said, you know what? F it, I'm going to get the automobile MBA. I got the subscription with Audible, and I've been listening. David knows every time he gets in my car, I've got some annoying voice that's like, hi, that's watch out every time, you know? But I've been doing that. Do you know what the percentage is of the wealthy people who listen to audiobooks on their commute to work?
Yeah, this one surprised me a lot. Yeah. I don't know if any listeners want to chime in real quick.
On their commute to work. All right. So any guesses out there? Yeah. If I hadn't looked at this, I mean, obviously I can see the screen. I would say it was more than likely like in the 70% range, just because it's something that we practice a lot. You know, it's something that we're always talking about.
So Caesar says 85%.
That's pretty. He's overshot it by quite a bit. So you lose the sweepstakes, Caesar. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Caesar.
You got to be at or below. But it's actually 63%, which is really amazing. But you can't just look at that 63%. You really have to look at the differential between what rich people are doing, what poor people are doing. Yeah. And of poor people, only 5% listen to any type of audiobook. I mean, and this is not even differentiating between, are you listening to Game of Thrones or are you listening to Rich Dad, Poor Dad? No, this is just listening to audiobooks. Right?
By audio.
5% of poor people do that as opposed to 63% of the wealthy.
Brandon hates my Jim Rohn audios that I put on.
Because they're so weird.
They are
Jim
weird.
Rohn audios are really weird.
If you guys have never
I love Jim Rohn, but your Jim Rohn audios are weird.
If you guys have never checked out Jim Rohn.
So you guys imagine this, okay? Alan listens to like this hip hop music like
it's hilarious. I'll tell you guys exactly what it is. It's awesome.
And in the background of all that is Jim Rohn going, "Your life will change forever. Your life will change forever. Your life will change forever."
He basically goes through like his books, and they've dropped it into like different beats.
That's exactly what I just said.
Wow.
Anyway, I think it's amazing. It's called Jim Rohn's Lessons, and you can find it on what is this app called? Spotify. Brandon knows all the apps.
So there you go, guys. If you have Spotify, you don't want to buy an Audible subscription like I have, you can just listen to these raps with like, and you know what, the things that he's saying, because I went to your house one day, and I was listening to it, and the things that he's saying are really valuable. To me, it's just weird to hear Jim Rohn talking like this over a hip hop track.
Yeah.
The two don't go together in my head.
That's funny.
But we listen to it in the morning in my house.
Hey,
man. I think it's hilarious.
Tank says, I'm driving from Austin listening to you guys. So.
Yes.
Awesome.
This is value right here.
Hey, after we're done, make sure you put on the Jim Rohn. The
right? Jim Rohn comes next.
Hang on. Let me make sure you guys have that information.
I've got one more, okay? What percentage of the wealthy read 2 or more self-improvement books every month? Okay, so books regarding self-improvement, what percent of the wealthy would you say read 2 or more?
Let's leave this one to the listeners.
All right. What do our listeners think out there?
Now that I know Tang's driving, I'm not safe with him putting up
Tang,
his...
don't worry about posting anything.
Anybody but Tang.
Caesar, come on, buddy. Let's see what you got.
So I'm just going to throw it out there. I got to get it out here in this segment. 85% of the wealthy listen to 2 or more self-improvement books every month. Okay? Only 15% of the poor do the same. 70% difference. And you really have to think about these. When you conceptualize percentages, the best way to think about it is stick 100 people in a room, and what are 85 of those people? They could have a conversation about the 2 books that they read for their wealthy.
Yeah.
On the poor side, only 15 of those people can have a conversation. The other 85 are going to be lost. It's the missing 15 from the wealthy. They need to just go down to the poor group. That's really what it comes down to.
So overall, what are we learning from this?
That you got to read.
You have to read, and you have to make it a daily habit.
Yeah. And not only that,
for it to be the most effective.
I asked you this yesterday. I said, how much do you get paid to go to the gym?
I don't. I pay.
Yeah, and
I pay to go to the gym.
And I've heard people say like, well, reading doesn't pay me. Reading is not an income-producing activity. It doesn't pay the bills. But guys, you have a muscle up here. It may not be a muscle in the sense of physiologically it's a muscle, but it is.
Yeah.
And you got to put good stuff into that muscle, just like you eat healthy when you want to go to the gym. You got to put good information up there. Stop reading CNN, all the messed up stuff that's happening, the double murder that happened down the street from you, the car accident.
I can't tell you the last time I saw the news. I can't tell you.
Yeah.
And I get people that sometimes ask me, "Hey, did you see what's on the news?" No, I really haven't.
So
my life is so much better off without it.
And this is something I got from the compound effect, and this is one thing I've been doing is every single day I take a maximum of 15 minutes to get my news fix, to get whatever I think might be important to me, and that's it. No more than that.
My solution for that is my wife checks the news, so I'm like, hey, what's up with the news? And then she gives me like a 2-minute spiel on anything that
Ashley always tells me too.
Yeah.
Did you see that on Facebook? Nah.
Yeah. But now you're letting her feed herself bad information.
That's true, right? I should make her stop doing that.
Yeah.
So maybe you should just give me the news that you read.
Yeah, just give you my 15-minute rundown.
Yeah, exactly.
And be like, things are bad.
All right, thanks so much. Moving on. Hey, guys, we have a great show planned out. On the next part of this show, we're going to be talking about the real cost of selling a house. I got it right this time, right? Awesome. The real cost of selling a house for the professional when we get back. Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service at an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching at Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you are interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepickettrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepickettrealty.com. Non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one.
What do you love about White Picket?
I love that we work together as a team.
I love being professional while having fun.
I love the innovative approach we take every day.
I love the support we get to grow our business.
We love White Picket.
And I love empowering the next generation of realtors to live life by their own design. If you're looking to grow, come grow with us. Email join@teamwpr.com. Again, that's join@teamwpr.com.
And we are back on Realty Ruckus. Remember that you can live tweet us at Realty Ruckus. You can also find us live on Facebook and YouTube, where you chat with us live during the show. We can answer your questions live on the air. Now, we were just having a really good discussion about how important it is to put good stuff up here into the brain and keep it going by reading. But one of the things during the break is, well, what if you don't have time for reading?
Well, everybody always feels like they don't have time for reading. Everybody's always busy and everybody's always booked. I mean,
doesn't it feel that way? People never have enough time for anything else.
They never have enough time.
But when they really want something, all of a sudden the time exists.
All of a sudden, yeah, because that's the way you're set up. You only make time for the things that you're interested in, or the things that you care about.
You got to turn off the Netflix and start doing something else.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because I hear people all the time, "Oh man, I'm super busy." And then 2 seconds later, I hear them having a conversation. Bro, I just binged out on that show and it was so good.
I don't watch TV, but I will binge on a good show every once in a while.
Oh, no, I wasn't even talking about you. I'm just saying people in general.
No, I'm saying I'm admitting fault here because Brandon's over there putting the finger on me. He's like, "Yeah, you binge out." Well, every once in a while.
Very special moment on the Realty Ruckus.
What is it?
We should, Alan's admitting something. I'm like, oh my God.
What are you talking about, man?
No, but here's more ways that you can find more time, right? One, and don't be embarrassed by this because we all do it. You take your phones in the bathrooms with you. I know that you do.
Can't go
and some of you spend 10 minutes in the bathroom, and some of you spend 20 minutes in the bathroom on those little bathroom breaks.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Take your phone in there, and instead of reading CNN, instead of reading all those funny memes or memes or whatever you want to call them, get out a book.
BB called them memes.
Memes. It's because that's Chris used to call them that. Yeah. But get out a book on your phone and start reading.
Yeah.
Instead of doing everything else that you're doing in the bathroom, start reading. 2, get your automobile MBA. We talked about this already. MBA. Get your automobile MBA. Get to listening. If you don't have Audible and you don't want to pay $15 a month, then go do what Alan does and listen to Jim Rohn rap over a track. It's still very valuable. Yeah. Like what I listened to that day, I was like, dang, this is good information.
They're lessons that you can implement on a daily basis.
And then just find time before work. What we talked about before, that 5 a.m. challenge, the 6 a.m. challenge, whatever challenge that you're on, find that extra 30 minutes in the morning. Put in that time because you will get value from it. Mm-hmm. You will absolutely get value from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and who doesn't spend a bunch of time in the bathroom reading through Facebook or whatnot?
Oh, yeah, man. I mean? It's funny because this morning, I went to the bathroom. I sat down.
I'm guilty.
I opened up my Facebook and I started scrolling through my Facebook. And I caught myself and I said, oh man, there's things that you could be doing right now to actually advance.
To be productive.
And I was like, crap. And I put the Facebook away and I actually got productive in the bathroom. So don't even tell me that, oh, I don't take my phone in the bathroom because there's bacteria in there. Yeah. That's such a lie. I watch everybody go in that bathroom. Yes, I've heard people use that excuse before. People have an excuse for everything.
Anyway, hey, let's talk about the real cost of selling a house, since we did promise everyone that we were going to talk about that.
Real cost of selling a house.
And by the way, I want to continue to have this conversation because these are things that are important to everyone out there. So life hacks or things to make just overall well-being better.
And just to throw this out there, guys, Caesar said you need to go out and buy the Elon Musk book. Caesar, why don't you just put a link for it so we know exactly, or give us the title.
Drop us a link in there, man.
Yeah, give us the exact one, because he says if you already feel good about yourself, read the Elon Musk book and you're going to feel like an underachiever. So I love that. Yes, put it out there. I would love to. I actually need a new book for Audible this month.
I think that guy taught himself rocket science.
Wow.
Elon Musk has taught himself everything.
He taught himself rocket science just by reading.
Amazing. Anyway, all right. Let's talk about the real cost of selling a house, because we've already told all of our viewers that we were going to cover that. And the reason why this came about is because I think there's a misconception not only on the agent's side, but on the people out there, the consumer side, who is thinking about selling our house. So the only reason why for sale by owner even exists is because what happens is there's a consumer. The thought process is, hey, these guys are making way too much money. It's not going to go towards marketing anyway.
Yeah. And I'm going to save my 6%.
And I'm going to save myself 6%, and I'm going to be able to sell it on my own and get as much money as I want for it.
And you know what's funny is that I don't think that consumers even think the money's not going to marketing. I think the consumers really just don't know what marketing's being done.
Yeah.
The average conception of a consumer is house goes on the market, which means it goes on the MLS. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And people come show it from there. Mm-hmm. So I'm paying you to put a house on the internet.
Yeah.
That's what most consumers think.
I 100% agree with you on that. And we used to get a little bit of that feedback sometimes.
Yeah.
Until we started saying, hey, every week, this is what we did today as far as marketing is concerned.
Yeah.
So like this week we developed a website, or this week we produced an advertisement. This week, and when we started doing that, it started changing the perception of the consumer. But we did realize over that time span that overall the consumer does feel that all an agent does is drop it onto MLS. Now, there is some factual
Well, there's some agents that do that.
Yeah. Exactly.
There's some agents that only put a house on the MLS, and then when the house is not selling, they're like, ugh, my client sucks. They don't want to reduce it down. And it's like, wait, what have you really done to help the house sell?
What did you try
And it's the
to do?
same agent. Oh, man. In a second, I'm going to see if we can load it up for the last segment. But there's a house that I have to show you. The agent posted all these pictures, and it literally looks like they took everything out of the cabinets and set it up on the countertops.
And then took a picture?
And then took pictures. Yeah, I'm like, what were they thinking? But that shows you those agents, those bad agents, are what's wrong with the industry.
Yeah,
and they're what make people think that agents don't do anything to earn their money.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's people don't realize that. Okay, fine, there is a 6% fee, right? The usual 6% fee.
Typically,
some of us charge a little more, by the way, and it's okay. Now,
and some of them charge a lot less.
Well. And this is why we decided to have this conversation, because so recently we ran across an agent who was targeting the investor community. And as you guys know, we help a lot of the investor community as well. We like to make sure that the investor community has the right resources and help to be able to sell their properties well. So we ran across an agent who was doing flat fee listings. Now, this is a problem that and I call it a problem because it's a problem for the industry altogether. And it's not a problem because they're charging a flat fee, or because, we can charge anything we want.
Everyone's entitled to charge.
If you're an agent, you can charge anything you want. It's a problem because that agent is now so limited in her potential,
or their potential,
to actually do real marketing.
Yeah.
That she doesn't really do the client justice, the listing, and herself justice.
Yeah, it's almost like, okay, think about it this way: you own a furniture store.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can sell a hell of a lot of furniture if I sell it at a negative cost.
Yeah.
I can lose money on every piece of furniture, and I will outsell everybody in here. But guess what? My customer service is going to be terrible. And eventually I'm going to have to close my doors because I'm losing so much money on a monthly basis.
Yeah, this agent I spoke to basically told me they do the flat fee listing for $675 for investors, and their fee that they pay the brokerage is $300. So they're only making $375.
Can you imagine what you can do with $375? Almost nothing.
Oh, she said she just slaps it up. And I said, well, like, what do you do for them? And she said, I just put on the MLS and they take care of everything else.
Who takes the pictures?
I
I
don't know.
suppose. I'm not
Probably
sure. But look,
her
let's say
with her
that you were to take that $375 and you did put professional pictures and you went out and you hired a cheap photographer. Because
What is a cheap photographer cost?
$100.
$100? Okay.
Yeah.
So
a good photographer is $150. So you just spend an extra $50 and you get good pictures.
Exactly.
But let's say $100. So now you're down to $275.
So now you've made $275 on that.
Yeah, and it took you approximately an hour to 2 hours to put it on the MLS.
It took you, an hour if you're really good and you know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you would say that you made $275 an hour.
$275 divided by 2 hours, you made $135 an hour.
But see, it's not that simple.
It's not
at
all.
It's not that simple.
No.
Right? Because
no.
what happens to servicing that property for the next few months?
Because even though she says she left it in the seller's hands, that seller's going to pick up the phone and call and ask you questions, or ask you this and that.
By the agreement of you
this.
being a real estate agent with the Texas Real Estate Commission, right?
You have a fiduciary commitment.
You have a fiduciary duty to that client. It doesn't matter if you have, it's just a flat fee listing. Guess what? The state of Texas says you agree to get paid less.
So let me
You
help.
still have to provide this
Exactly.
minimum of services.
And let me help you guys that are out there that know an agent that's doing this, that's providing the $500 or $600 flat fee listings, and on the listing it says contact the owner direct.
Yeah.
You're actually violating a lot of TREC law that way.
Yes, you are.
Because you are supposed to be their representative.
You cannot tell a person to contact the owner directly. As the fiduciary, you have to be the middleman, which is why I quit doing flat fee listings. Yeah. I used to do a lot of flat fee listings. There was a time that we were charging like $150 and then we went to $250 and people still were paying it. Yeah. And for me, it was like, okay, slap it up on the internet. I'm cool. I'm not servicing it at all. And then TREC was like, hey, you have to service it. You have a fiduciary duty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're actually speaking from experience here. Guys, I remember when we first opened up the doors here, we were like, hey, here's a quick way to drum up some business. Yeah. But it was the wrong kind of business.
It was.
It was the kind of business.
I got, out of my flat fee listings, I got one TREC complaint, and I had like 4 angry buyers. These were all listings, right? So I had 4 angry buyers on the other side that were like, I want to be dealing with the agent. I don't want to be dealing with the homeowner. The homeowner doesn't know what they're talking about. And here I am on the other side, and I'm thinking, what do I do?
Yeah.
What do I do?
You didn't charge
I didn't
enough
charge
to make it worth your time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can't make $2 an hour on this. Come on now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, the real fees behind doing a real listing, right, include a whole lot more than just putting it on MLS.
Marketing, signs, advertising, photography, the time, the hassle, the legal protection.
Good photography, at least.
The
spend
legal protection.
Yeah, the legal protection. If you have E&O insurance,
reading that contract from the buyer, understanding the contract, because I guarantee you, if I go out there in the general public, even with most real estate agents, they can't explain an entire contract to me.
Exactly. How much do you think this agent lost by charging $600 per transaction?
No, they were losing money on every transaction.
What do you guess? What is the loss on that on a transaction
I'm
basis?
guessing that they're losing at a minimum about $500, and that's on a minimum scale.
Yeah, and that's not even really counting all the time.
Yeah. Well, it may be considering the time and hassle on gas, but probably just on gas alone.
It's crazy how that works. Anyways, you guys are on the Realty Ruckus. Don't forget that we're going to be right back. Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, this is David over at Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service at an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching at Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you're interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepicketrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepicketrealty.com. Non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one.
What do you love about White Picket?
I love that we work together as a team.
I love being professional while having fun.
I love the innovative approach we take every day.
I love the support we get to grow our business.
We love White Picket.
And I love empowering the next generation of realtors to live life by their own design. If you're looking to grow, come grow with us. Email join@teamwpr.com. Again, that's join@teamwpr.com.
And we are back on Realty Ruckus. Remember that you can live tweet us at Realty Ruckus. You can also find us live on Facebook and YouTube, where if you chat with us live during the show, we can answer your questions live on the air. Now, really good conversations today. I love this show. Unfortunately, we do need to start wrapping things up because you got to get out there and get ready for your event tonight.
I have to get out there. We have a phenomenal event getting ready to get started. 350 people registered to come out and hang out with us. There's a lot of
phenomenal, man.
It's awesome, man. I'm
El
so excited
Tiempo is
about
going to
it.
be packed to the
El
brim.
Tiempo has never had this many people there at one time.
They will remember El Tiempo that the Nalrev showed up.
Yeah, right. So yeah, man, we're excited. And I'm just. Man, I love the community support that we get. I love it. So, all right, to finish off the show, we always like to end with Alan's tip of the day. So I'd love to give you guys a quick tip on how to cut your response time in half and why this is important. Yeah. So one of the things that we noticed in our own business is every time that we make the phone call to that lead within the first 5 minutes, our chances of getting that lead to a meeting increased by about 90%.
Wow.
Yeah.
90.
So if we don't make that phone call, we basically lose the lead, essentially.
Yeah.
Right? It's almost like it's a completely lost lead. So one of the things that we like to do is one, have some backup plans if you can't make that phone call. And for sure, have some things written out on your phone. So one of the things I like to do is I have these apps, and I'll share one of the apps with you guys that's really helping me cut a bunch of time. It's called Clipboard Manager.
Okay.
And in my Clipboard Manager, I have some pre-written text messages.
Oh, nice. So these are like templates.
Yeah, these are templates. Some pre-written text message templates that I've already pre-written.
Yeah.
So what happens is the first minute that we get the phone call, if it's a seller lead, we're calling them within 5 minutes. If they didn't pick up, most of them don't.
And boom.
Then immediately that text goes out with a V card.
That's awesome.
And then the next day there's already 2 text messages already set to follow up. So all of your phones nowadays have the ability to time a text, right?
Yeah.
You can set a little timer. You can set that timer to go out at 7 in the morning and at 7 p.m. to catch them either before work or after work and just coordinate a better time to meet.
That's fantastic.
So hopefully you guys can put that into your business because it definitely helps me and it definitely helps all of our agents.
Response time is everything,
Response
man.
time
Really
is everything. All right, let's go ahead and end today's show with all of the amazing events that we have, starting with today's event and then going on from there.
We have a lot of events. So today is Segundo de Mayo. It's a happy hour. NAREP, White Picket's going to be out there. Quite a few.
El Tiempo Cantina. Yeah, make sure that people get to the right one. So it's the one on Westheimer in Montrose.
In Montrose.
Okay, excellent.
El Tiempo, Westheimer, in Montrose, 6 to 8 p.m. We'll see you there. And then tomorrow, there's 2 events going on.
Hang on, let me cut in. You must RSVP for this event.
Okay, if you don't RSVP.
This is not one of those events that you can just show up at and walk in. I mean, we literally have a head count. we have to RSVP people,
Okay.
and you can't get in if you didn't RSVP.
I hope everyone out there heard that. Don't show up and not RSVPing.
Sorry,
and
guys.
expect to get in.
There may be a door fee if you didn't RSVP. So
Yeah.
Okay.
that's the only way to offset that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we have that happy hour tonight. And then tomorrow night, 5 p.m., Real Estate Industry Mixer. That's going to be at Mixology. And AMI Lenders is hosting that.
Now,
That's
this is a new
September-
event.
It's a
correct?
new event.
Okay, cool.
Just getting
So
started.
let's get out there and support the heck out of this guy.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. I want to go out there. I heard he's got a ton of food, so
Hey,
that calls my attention.
Yeah. I saw that too. He was like, "We have more food than we know what to do with." I'm like, "Yes."
Yeah, so that's going to be a good one. And then at 6:30 that same night, Quest Fest is going on at the Quest offices. It's going to be, a little networking, some drinking, a little food, and then, of course, we're going to have a bunch of guest speakers, one of which is going to be Alan.
Yeah, I'll be speaking out there. My friend Curtis Warden and our friend Chris Johnson will also be there speaking tomorrow night. So the Questies have done
That's
an
a good lineup.
The Questies have done an amazing job on putting a good lineup together.
That is a good lineup.
And we're gonna be talking about how we use our IRAs, our self-directed IRAs, to invest in real estate.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, it's a case study, so it's actually based around an event.
Yeah.
All right, and then last one, rounding out this week. We'll just finish off with this week since there's so many events going on. It's the Leader One Financial. They're opening their new office. That's with Rudy Zarate and his team. They're opening up a new office, and so they're inviting folks to come on out for their grand opening.
Definitely go out there and support Rudy and Leader One.
Yeah.
Phenomenal companies. Rudy's an amazing
Yeah,
lender.
Leader One is a good company too.
And you guys can catch all of these events and any upcoming events on the Houston Real Estate Events page. Just follow at Houston Real Estate Events on Facebook.
Yeah.
And we'll see you tonight.
You have to like the page, right? You have
gotta
to go
like
there,
it and you'll see-
you have
you'll
to
see
hit
it.
like, and that way when there's a new event, you actually get a quick little notice, and you know to come out and be part of the Cool Kids Club, right?
Exactly.
Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us today on the Realty Ruckus, right out of the White Picket Realty Studios. I am your host, Alan Hernandez. Can't wait to see you guys here in a few hours at El Tiempo. Make sure you guys
Tiempo.
RSVP.
The Cool Kids Club.
Don't forget to keep up your ruckus, and we'll see you next time.
Segundo de Mayo, here we come.
This has been the Realty Ruckus. Make sure and join us every Tuesday and Friday for new episodes. Find us on YouTube and Facebook for replays of previous episodes. And as always, keep elevating yourself and keep up your ruckus. Thanks for listening. Realty Ruckus has been brought to you by Smart Pig Media Productions.